evening, viewers. Welcome to this session. We have a lot of news to speak about today, and we are waiting for Major General Sudhakar. So, meanwhile, let's start with the first piece of news. Now, apparently, 16 terrorists have been systematically killed by unidentified assassins in Pakistan. And the latest is a major crack seems to have appeared in Pakistan's deep state. So let's just look at the visuals. Now, a major crack has appeared in Pakistan's deep state. In a sensational development on January 28th, a Pakistani Army Lieutenant Colonel Imran Dayal was shot dead by unknown assailants in the Shorecourt area of Dera Ismail Khan. So this is his vehicle, and you can see the gunshots on and this is the person. This is Lieutenant Colonel Imran Dayal. And why a lot of the Indians would be happy is because he has been identified by several reports as a key ISI handler behind the devastating 2025 Pahalgam terror attack and a close high-level associate of Hafiz Saeed. While initial reports suggest he was caught in a crossfire between armed groups, intelligence circles are buzzing with darker claims. Dayal has been identified by several reports as a key ISI handler behind the devastating 2025 Pahalgam terror attack and a close associate of Hafiz Saeed. His elimination follows a string of mysterious killings of high-value terror assets across Pakistan over the last year. Whether this was a targeted strike by unknown men or a result of internal deep state friction, the brazen daylight killing of a senior officer with such heavy terror links has sent shockwaves through the establishment. Now, one thing is clear. Those who pull the strings of proxy war are no longer safe, even within their own borders. So we are just waiting for Major General to come and give his remarks on on this. Now, meanwhile, we also will be covering the fact that Baloch women Fidai, how the Baloch women have started fighting and how they are sort of gaining ground. So I'm just waiting for 1 second. Hold on, please. Yeah, so just waiting for Sudhakar ji. So the moment he comes, we will start on this. Yeah, so moving on to the women Fidaians IED attacks, how the Baloch rebels killed 200 Pakistani personnel. The BLA also acknowledged losses among its own ranks, stating that 18 of its fighters were killed during the operation, including 11 Fidai suicide bombers of Majid Brigade, 4 fighters of Fateh Squad, and 3 fighters from the Stos unit. Now, the Baloch rebel group Balochistan Liberation Army has claimed that its ongoing offensive, dubbed Operation Hero Phase 2, has continued for more than 40 hours across several districts of Balochistan, alleging heavy casualties among Pakistani security forces and asserting control in multiple urban and rural locations. In 2 statements issued by BLA spokesperson Jian Baloch, the group said its fighters had completed operations in areas including Karan, Mastung, Tump and Pasni, while claiming that fighting remains active in other locations. The group also asserted that its fighters were present in parts of Quetta and Noshki, where it said Islamabad's military presence had been repelled. According to BLA's claims, more than 200 personnel from the Pakistani Army, Police and Frontier Corps have been killed and at least 17 individuals captured. The group described these figures as preliminary and cautious estimates, suggesting that the actual losses were higher. These claims have not been independently verified, but Balochistan's chief minister, Sarfraz Bukti, said 17 law enforcement personnel and 31 civilians were killed in the attack. So it's very strange that we have something very similar to what happened in Dhurandhar happening in Pakistan now. Welcome, Mitu, and welcome to all the others who have joined us. So this is, in fact, seems to be perfect. The first is killing of the army personnel, and second is the Baloch women, also rebelling and joining the forces. So Baloch people have got a lot of now courage to fight the Pakistani forces that have continuously sort of tortured them and their people, poisoned their water, and done much more harm than any other country could do it. Now moving on to the next piece of land. So before we continue, let's also see that the Baloch Baloch forces have been fighting, trying to find as much support from all around the world, and now I think they are getting as many artillery sort of equipment to fight Pakistan. Meanwhile, Pakistan's military said 92 separatists were killed on Saturday, while 41 were killed on Friday. The BLA also acknowledged losses among its own ranks, stating that 18 of its fighters were killed during the operation, including 11 Fidayin of Majid Brigade, 4 fighters of Fateh Squad, and 3 fighters from the STOS unit. In a separate statement, the separatist group also acknowledged that attacks involved female perpetrators. Among Fidayin was Asifa Mangal, who carried out BBIED, which is Vehicle-Borne Improvised Explosive Device operation targeting the ISI headquarters in Noshki. Asifa Mangal joined the Baloch Liberation Army's Majid Brigade on October 2, 2023, and took her Fidai decision in January 2024. She died on Friday. In another post, BLA said that its mission at the Gwadar front, Fidai Hawa Baloch, fought shoulder to shoulder with fellow Fidain. They also posted the video of her final message sent 12 hours before she was killed. Moving on to the next piece of news. Yeah, moving on to the next piece of news. I'm just waiting for Wing Commander to join.
Hello, Veena. Good evening. I know I made you wait, but I couldn't help it. He's a youngster, so please don't take it otherwise. And come, we can start.
Yeah. So we were speaking about the attack on one of the ISI officers, army officers, how he was killed by an anonymous shooter. So apparently, Major General, 16 terrorists have been eliminated in this manner in Pakistan, and the current person whose name is Lieutenant Colonel Imran Dayal was shot dead by unknown assailants in the Shorkot area of Dera Ismail Khan. While initial reports suggest he was caught in a crossfire between armed groups, intelligence circles are buzzing with darker claims. Dayal has been identified by several reporters as a key ISI handler behind the devastating 2025 Pahalgam terror attack and a high-level associate of Hafiz Saeed. His elimination follows a string of mysterious killings of high-value terror assets across Pakistan over the last 1 year. So, your comments on this, Major General?
All I would say is, Meena, whatever happens, happens for the best. The peace and stability, the Padam, I'll call you back. I'm sorry, there was a call from the highest level, so I had to take that call. All I would say is that if you sow the seeds of violence, karma will come back and hit you hard. And that is what is happening in Pakistan today. I am not saying India is not sponsoring or undertaking the factor of deniability or denial of deterrence of denial. We are now reached a stage of deterrence of punishment. हम बोल के अंदर जाएंगे will actually hit the targets as we have hit during Operation Sindoor. ये जो अननोन गनमैन कल्चर है, जो धुरंधर पिक्चर में दिखाया गया है, ये एक किस्म का एक संकेत है. वो कह रहा है देश को, भारत
If you
को.
can speak in English, Major?
Yeah.
Can we speak in English? Yeah.
Yeah, Dhurandhar movie Dhurandhar is a movie which is giving a clear indication to our country that apart from having shifted from strategy of deterrence of denial to deterrence of punishment, we must actually go into state our doctrine in clear terms. That doctrine has to be a proactive one, which we have stated. But now we have to start executing the way the unknown gunman is doing. It has to be done openly. Like the way the Blue Seal, they hunted down Osama bin Laden and neutralized him at Abbottabad. Like the way the Israeli army is doing. There is no harm in changing the doctrinal concept of Indian armed forces to cross the border and hit the terrorists where they are planning and preparing to orchestrate or carry out, perpetrate a thing like Pahalgam, call it Pahalgam 2 or Pahalgam 3. This time, India should never be prepared to accept Pahalgam 1 or Pahalgam 2 in any form. We have to be ready. Towards that end, the proactiveness has been shown in the Delhi blast, where a J&K police official, he saw a little poster on a notice board, and from there the red herring actually caught and it picked up momentum, and suddenly we found that these gangsters or these white collar terrorist network, they're planning for a serious blast in number of cities in our country before or around 5th 6th December 2025. That's how it could be prevented. We have to be ahead of the loop. And towards that, in the specific questions which you are asking, you have named only a few. I have got a list of activities where he's been involved in number of them. Our attack against parliament, our attack against the sorry, I should not be openly, the RSS headquarters, our attack against Bengaluru, in one of the places where it is a technical hub. So such like places the attacks have been planned, and so much so when I was carrying out research before coming to your show in one of the podcasts, I suddenly came across one line that in fact his involvement also was there in something like 2611 happened long time back, almost about, let's say, 18 years back. Okay, when our Taj Hotel was attacked, even in that also his footprint has been mentioned. So many of them, many of them. So therefore, if it has happened, then the karma has taken its path and it has hit him hard. And as a true Indian, I personally feel that we should all be feeling proud of.
Yeah,
let Pakistan also learn a lesson out of this. Let them not play with fire. India is not in a state, not in a position today in 21st century, in 2026, to accept anything like Pahalgam. Let them actually pull back, think over, take stock of their country, put it into a progressive and a positive kind of a developing country or roadmap, and not promote trans-border terrorism the way they have been doing. If they do, our response is always ready. We'll actually hit back nice and properly the way it has happened.
Yeah. Also, now apparently Pakistan is facing attacks internally as well. Now we're talking about Baloch and Balochistan. We're talking about now the women also, women Fidain also joining forces, and how the Baloch rebels have killed literally 200 Pakistan personnel. The Balochi Liberation Front also acknowledged losses among its own ranks, stating that 18 of its fighters were killed during the operation, including 11 Fidain suicide bombers of Majid Brigade, 4 fighters of Fatah Squad, and 3 fighters from the STOS unit. So one thing is very clear that earlier Baloch, the Baloch people were being tortured, their water was being, poisoned, and now the women have also joined forces to teach them a lesson. So how do you see this, Major General?
Balochistan is going through, it is gravitating away from rural insurgency to urban insurgency. Okay, when I say this, it is in the 5th stage of its insurgency. So, which are the 4 insurgencies which have taken place in the past? When Balochistan by force was made to sign the instrument of accession, when the standstill agreement was already on at gunpoint, the king of Kalat was made to sign in presence of Jinnah at Karachi. This was on 24th March 1948. And that too, when Lieutenant Colonel Guljar of Baloch Regiment, along with his general officer commanding of a division, Major General Akbar Khan, they moved to a place and got the king of Kalat to Karachi and made him sign this document. And mindful of the fact that same king had announced a couple of months back on 15th August 1947, he had promulgated the independence of Balochistan. He had announced internationally it had been accepted. They had a separate constitution, they had a separate national flag, they had a bicameral system, they had gone through the democratic process of election of their leaders or the legislatures or the law-making people. So therefore, what I'm coming to is under the circumstances, the fire of insurgency started taking birth immediately after the accession took place, because today Balochistan is not revolting against autonomy. It is not revolting against seeking their aspirations to be fulfilled. It is revolting for independence. They want to secede. They want to stay away, separate from Pakistan. That has to be understood. So insurgency, which started way back in 48 or say 52, 52, has gone through the second phase in 60s, third phase in 70, 80s, fourth phase in 2002, 2003. This is the 5th phase which has taken a shape into a different contour 2019 onwards, and actually it picked up momentum from 2023. The intensity, the geography, the areas that they cover is actually becoming bigger and bigger, and the state of the art equipment and the tactics and the strategy they are adopting is becoming much more lethal than what it was in the past. For example, I would say the 11th of March 2025, when the Jafar Express was hijacked, that operation is nowhere comparable with even any operation conducted by the best conventional forces in the world. It had state of the art equipment, it had the encrypted means of communication, it had multiple coordination agencies, it had integration of firepower, it had surveillance platforms, everything which is required for a conventional forces. The weapon system which they were using, these weapon systems had come from the Taliban of Afghanistan. Where did the Taliban of Afghanistan got this state of the art equipment? They were being used by the Afghan special forces, Afghan army, which USA had actually supplied them. And those weapon systems have come to the hands of the Baloch Liberation Army. There is a collaboration between the Tehrik Taliban Pakistan and Baloch Liberation Army. Also, I believe I'm given to understand the ISIS Khorasan, which is has got a sanctuary in Pakistan, is also supporting them. Under these circumstances, they are playing merry hell. And this particular momentum, which is building up towards the independence of Balochistan, has to be understood from the perspective that it is the largest province. It has got 43.6% of land area of total Pakistan. It has got 5% of population of Pakistan, meaning if the population of Pakistan is, let's say, around 24 crores or 240 million, then the population of Balochistan is around 15 million, means 1.5 crores. Because the population is less, they have smaller representation in the National Assembly. The budget allocated in Pakistan is based on the number of members who are elected to the power or legislatures in the National Assembly. Punjab has got a rough count, if I respect my memory, around 372 odd members. Balochistan has got very far and few members. Therefore, the allocation for socio-economic development is low. Therefore, you don't see any development. No roads, no water, no communication. Everything is blacked out. There is no hospital, no schools, no any kind of employment opportunities. Whereas you have everything in Balochistan, from gold, copper, zinc, you have uranium, thorium, you have water, you have petroleum, you have gas, you've got coal. Everything is there. The nuclear testing site is there. And recently, there is a gold mine which has been auctioned to China at a discounted price. And likewise, you have also a CPEC passing through Gwadar. And so, how does Pakistan look after such a huge area, which is 44% of the total land mass? It has got a common border with Iran, 902 kilometers. It has got border with Afghanistan. The complete border is called a Durand line, running over a distance of 2,600 odd kilometers. And major part of the border is with the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, around 1,300 kilometers is with 12 to 1,300 kilometers is with Balochistan. It's a mountainous area towards Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. As you come down towards Balochistan, the hilly area actually starts losing height. The forested area also reduces. Then it comes and joins with the desert area. Why am I highlighting this? Is that while we are talking in Pakistan or Balochistan, the Delta Force of America, they are poised along with the attack helicopters along the border to attack or go into Iran. Tehran is around 1600 kilometers from the border of Pakistan and Iran. And also the BLA, the logistic bases, reportedly, they operate from places like you have Sistan or you got Balochistan in Iran itself. Also, there are reports of they're operating from Afghanistan, which the Afghanistan Taliban continues to deny. So why am I bringing out all this is that they're poised for a very intense and very strong kind of a contestation against the Pakistan army, which I personally feel unless they change the strategy, the Pakistan changes the strategy, makes it a multi-pronged approach, I don't think Pakistan army will have any headway. They will succeed against the people of Balochistan. The only way to succeed is to listen to the people of Balochistan, redress their grievances by giving them more autonomy, or at least get into the stage of dialogue. And it has to be a multi-pronged approach, getting into dialogue with Tehrik Taliban, getting into dialogue with Baloch Liberation Army. Whereas for India, I personally feel it's about time, like the way they have changed the profile of Bangladesh. There is no harm for India to change the profile of Balochistan, support them, not covertly, overtly. Tell Pakistan that time has come. If you don't stop doing this or don't stop promoting the trans-border terrorism, like the way we took almost 25 years to decide or 30 years to decide about revocation or suspension of the Indus Water Treaty, it will be too late for India to take a call like this. I know we'll be annoying the USA, but the time has come that we need to call it out loudly, call spade a spade, and tooth for tooth, eye for eye is the only method that you can teach your enemy.
Yeah. Also, see, now that you see all these killings by anonymous, assassins, and the internal attacks by Baloch, if that is not enough, now the treaty between India, EU, FTA has rattled both Pakistan and Bangladesh. So exporters in both Pakistan and Bangladesh have warned that the India-EU free trade agreement would erode their hard won advantages in the lucrative European market as Indian goods gained duty-free access, hinting at India's Operation Sindoor. An official of the Pakistani Traders Association said that Delhi had opened an economic front against Islamabad. So now here's a third attack, so Pakistan would be really on tenterhooks, isn't it?
Absolutely. Pakistan, in any case, neither Pakistan nor Bangladesh, they have any moral right to talk about the economy, because the economy of both is in doldrums and they're going through critical phases. What India has done, it has done actually, it is a strategic victory, eternal victory. Because I know there are challenges in between. We have to make sure that they get ratified by all 27 countries in the European Union. But the way the government is approaching the issue in a focused and with full resolve, I don't have any doubts it is going to get speeded up, and it will be translated into a kind of a activity matrix very soon. But the fact remains that the market which is to be enjoyed by the Bangladesh textile, in any case, the textile industry of Bangladesh, they have shut down. Okay, that is to be the primary contributor of the revenue of the forex earning. That has market has dried out. Pakistan, the cotton producing, it is to produce high quality cotton, it is to produce sugarcane, also rice and wheat. Unfortunately, there is no industry operational worth its name today. There is no export worth its name from Pakistan. They are only buying and importing things. So, therefore, under the circumstances, what they think, even after having been hit very badly during Operation Sindoor, they kept on claiming that they have won the complete conflict with India, until it was disproved by think tank like Australian think tank called Loe, wherein India has been put as the big power third big power in Asia after USA, China, India. Recently, about 2 months back, it came out in November or December, or countries elsewhere in the Europe. They have also think tanks. They have acknowledged and recognized India's military supremacy. Also, internationally, it has been recognized that India is on an upward trend of growth, and the trajectory is unstoppable. So, therefore, call it military might or technological prowess or our evolution as an economy, it is actually going by leaps and bounds. 4.19 trillion vis-a-vis 255 billion or so in case of Bangladesh. And in case of Pakistan, Bangladesh had already overtaken Pakistan, I think 355. Pakistan is around 255 or 262 billion. Actually, is no match. Also compare the per capita income, and you have these SDI indices which are doctored by the Western media and the Western platforms so as to show India in a poor light, so as to push the NGOs into India, so as to pump money into NGO and carry out critical activities which is against our national interest. India has to guard against this. So this phenomena or articulation which Pakistan and Bangladesh have acknowledged, it's a win-win case for India. There is nothing to stop India's progress as far as economy, its military prowess, and also the Make in India initiatives that are being undertaken to make India a sustainable, self-reliant country in times ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on to Dhurandhar. Now, Dhurandhar trends at #1 on Netflix, Pakistan, despite the theatrical ban. Durand is reportedly trending at #1 on Netflix, Pakistan, within days of its global OTT release, despite not receiving a theatrical release in the country. The film released on December 5th in theaters. It has emerged as one of the most successful Indian films at the box office of all time. Now, it's rather surprising, isn't it? I mean, they tried their best to ban it in Middle East, and you seem to now see that Pakistani people really want to see the movie, and they want to know the truth about what their ISI leaders, because they are the leaders actually, are doing to their country, how they are ripping apart their country through all these what do you call negative means, as in exporting terrorists, and trying to destroy India through different means, their trafficking, their money laundering, and drug cartel. So this is something that would have put them on a back foot as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. I must congratulate you for having selected this theme, Meena, and this has got multiple angles which need to be highlighted. Now, on one hand, talking from Indian point of view, every decision government of India has taken in previous 14 years or so, or more than 14 years, 15 years, let's say, has been more than adequately explained through the medium of theater or through the medium of the audiovisual or the film, because the film is based on true story. There is nothing actually artificially created. Maybe just to bring a little bit of interest and enthusiasm amongst the audience, may have been some masala would have been added. Otherwise, it is based on true story. That true story, the truth I am talking of, is something which, despite all ban and imposition of restrictions, will always attract the people. Because truth is one thing which is defying the trust in the geopolitical order, which is defying the trust between two neighbors. On one hand, India has been actually offering everything like a neighborly, a good neighbor to Pakistan, but Pakistan doesn't seem to understand. But let the people of Pakistan see what they stand for and what their organizations and leadership are up to. The demonetization which took place in India and 500 rupee note was banned at some point in time, people had objected in India. The picture actually highlights that particular aspect as to how it is to be manufactured in a place like Pakistan or somewhere in Balochistan, it is to be exported. And talk about the Taj Hotel attack. It had been planned by these people. Okay, so the military was involved, was involved. It was a special force kind of an operation. Look at the weapons, how it was being manufactured and how it had to was passing hands. So I would say kudos to our people, if at all they are there, they are doing it, because the picture is based on truth. So I assume that even the unknown gunman that we are talking of, or this person who was neutralized, Imran Khan or somebody, uh, I think they're doing a great job. If India has a role, time has come that if they continue to sponsor terrorism across the border, will continue to promote the unknown gunman in bigger, much more major role and keep neutralizing, will hit them across the border on their own land. Time is not there in our favor to welcome them in Pahalgam like orchestration of events. Now we'll carry out these kind of events in their land, neutralize the threat which is actually removing peace and stability for our growth, because our aim as a country is to reach a target of 30 trillion US dollar, become a global power with a geopolitical, with a per capita income of 14 to 20,000 US dollar by 2047 or earlier. That can happen if there is peace and stability. That can happen there is political stability. We are very thankful that there is a political stable government in our country today, because of which there is economic progress, there is a military progress, there is a scientific progress, there is a technological progress, there is a progress of all domains of war. Talk about land, air, sea, you talk about the cyber, talk about electromagnetic, and talk about space. There are also progress on the lines of, you talk about the neurosciences, different kinds of, blockchain, you talk about artificial intelligence, robotics, energy storage. That's like things. India is making significant headways in all dimensions. There is nothing to stop India, but we need to be very, very proactive the way we are doing and going ahead with. So Dhurandhar will come back with a new name, Dhurandhar 2, as to how we are progressing not only in Pakistan but also in Bangladesh very soon. I am very confident. In Bangladesh, also, if countries around us don't behave, then they may be extended to our immediate neighborhood and the countries which are having common borders with India in future.
Yeah. In fact, what you said is so true, because in Dhurandhar, there is a scene where the actor playing Doval's role said that we may seem weak now because of the certain decisions made by the government, but there will come a time when we will be strong and we'll be able to protect ourselves and not give in to the terrorists' demands. And so that is such a, what you call, it's all a warning, and it has come true. You see, and it's also, he also mentioned that, see, when UP was, dominated by mafia, he said, I hope a leader will come who will cleanse UP and destroy all the mafia that is there. So there is Yogi also, Yogi ji, who has come and done that. So it's really, all this makes us proud as Indians, because we seem to be not only on the right path, but we also seem to become a world leader. So
Yeah.
thank you for that, Major General. Wonderful chat as always. Thank you. Good night. Jai Hind and Jai
Jai
Shri Ram.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.